Hello.
Hello there.
Oh, hi Nina. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're
Um,
welcome.
just to give the viewers an idea about what we're going to talk about, I'm so delighted that Nina's agreed to share her story with us. So, Nina Joy is going to share a story that actually she's written a book about. It's called The Adventures of a Cancer Maverick, and it's really inspiring. And obviously, it can, in terms of overcoming challenges, we can use this in all areas of our life. So Nina is now a speaker on this subject. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. Um, yeah, just begin.
Okay, I will. I guess this particular story started for me in the summer of 2012, and I had an experience which many women have. I noticed a change in one of my breasts, and I thought, well, I'd better go and see the doctor. I then was referred to the breast clinic, and to cut a long story short, not only was I diagnosed with breast cancer, but I was told that it had already spread. It had spread to my lymph system, it had spread to my lungs, it had spread to my liver, and it had spread to my bones. Now, obviously, she would say that's not good. The prognosis was awful, and the idea was that the only treatment I was offered was palliative chemotherapy, and that might buy me a bit more time. At the time, I didn't know anything about cancer. I'd never been ill, so I didn't understand hospitals and all that. I hadn't had cancer in the family. We've been quite lucky from that point of view. So I absolutely had no knowledge whatsoever with which to deal with this situation. However, what I did have is quite a lot of experience from my professional life. Most of my professional life, if I dare admit to it, has been spent in banking. Shh, don't tell anybody. And I've done a whole host of jobs in banking, and I guess it helped me to fall back on some of the skills I've learned in the workplace. So when I didn't know what to do, I did what I often did in a work situation, which is, first of all, if you are not clear on the course of action you need to take, then you actually need to, well, I call it hitting the pause button, and actually halt everything while you're figuring out what you need to do. And that space gives you an awful lot, a chance to do something different. If you don't give yourself that space, you're either going to do what you did before in a work situation, or you're going to just copy what other people do and do the norm. So by actually taking a step back, it gives you a chance for some insight or some innovation, and actually to decide, how you are going to deal with this situation. And for me, I actually decided not to do as the doctors wanted me to. So hence the title of my book, A Cancer Maverick, because I think I am a little bit of a maverick. I think I always have been. And the treatment they were offering wouldn't have cured me. I was told it's incurable, and as I said, the prognosis was I was not expected to live much more than 6 months. So I decided to look elsewhere for a course of action. And I wasn't in denial about, the seriousness of my illness or anything, but I just didn't believe that there weren't any other options. Again, in a business context, when you're looking at a course of action, there is always another option. And I've been used to doing this in business cases. And in a business case, when you're looking at whether you take a course of action, one of the things you always measure it against is, well, what would happen if I did nothing? And so even if doing nothing is the only option, there are always options. Anyway, I looked into what was out there, and I found a holistic treatment centre in Germany that's called the 3E Centre. And they have done something which I wanted to do, but I didn't have time to do. And again, I've done this in a work context. If you want to learn something, it's very useful to hook up with people who have done what you want to do already and have experience of it. I call them DIBs, people who've done it before. So I didn't have time to go out and study DIBS and find out because I was in quite a dire situation. But the 3E Centre in Germany have spent many, many years looking at what cancer survivors around the world do to survive. And they offer a programme to actually educate you on what those things are. So after my diagnosis, I went over there for the 5-week programme that they run. And I learned what to do and brought all that knowledge back home with me and incorporated those changes into my life when I returned. I'd like to say that what happened next is, miracle of miracles, I was cured and I lived happily ever after. But I can't tell you that because actually that would be a big fat lie because that isn't what happened. What I feel happened is my healthy cells got really well, but the cancer was too far advanced for such gentle measures to take hold. So again, I needed to hit that pause button and say, right, well, I'm actually getting quite ill. So 7 months after I'd been to the 3E Centre, I was actually very ill. I was fading fast. I was really in quite a state physically and needed to do something else. So I hit that pause button and researched again. And this time I found out again a treatment in Germany. It seems to me that all my roads seem to lead to Germany. And I went over to a hospital in Frankfurt and had some chemotherapy that's administered differently than we do in this country. So whereas in this country it's delivered systemically throughout the whole body, and that's why it has such impact and you lose your hair, etc. They actually deliver it in a targeted fashion, direct to the tumours. So the collateral damage on your body is much less, and also it hits at a much stronger level because it's going direct to the site it's needed. So I had that treatment in 2013. I needed 8 treatments in all throughout 2013, and after each one I just got better and better. So really the situation that I'm in now, when actually conventional medicine probably said I wouldn't be here, I actually wouldn't be alive, and I'm really well. I'm absolutely symptom free. I'm not in any pain whatsoever. I better take less painkillers than you do, and actually the doctors have said that I'm in remission, which wasn't seen as being even possible at the beginning.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. I know.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It does feel amazing because I didn't know that it was possible. And that's why I'm very open about my story, Amanda, and why I'm happy to share it. Because I stumbled across this information almost by accident. It's only because maybe I've got the skills and wherewithal to go and be a bit nosy and research things, because that's what I've done in a professional capacity. But when you first diagnosed and you feel very vulnerable, you haven't really got the energy and resources to do that. And I want to just speak out, because when you're told your cancer is incurable and there isn't much that can be done, actually what they're saying is conventional medicine hasn't got much to offer, but there are many, many other things that you can do for yourself. And that's why I'm very open about it. I blogged about it all the way through.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And that blog is still up on my website, ninajoy.com. And I've just done it so that people who might be considering going to the 3E Centre or looking for treatment, they can actually get a blow-by-blow and very realistic account of, what it's felt like to be on my little adventure.
Amazing. And I'm just going to apologise because it might be that the connection is not fantastic for this interview. Is it the 3E Centre?
Yes. Yes, the number 3 and the letter E, 3E Centre.
Right. And did you find it useful blogging about it?
I found it absolutely therapeutic. Um, I started it off because while I was at the 3E Centre, because I went away for 5 weeks, all my family and friends were really quite concerned. Also, they thought I was a little bit bonkers for turning down chemotherapy, to be fair. So it was a way of keeping in touch with them so that they knew what was happening. But actually, it is really therapeutic to be putting your thoughts down and having somewhere to vent everything that you're going through. So I definitely found it a positive experience.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
So you've been a little alternative. Well, the
yeah.
word is maverick, isn't it? What are your key messages for people out there that are going through challenges, which may be to do with illness, but could be different kind of challenges that we all face now and again?
Yeah, I think the things that have made the real difference to me, Amanda, are first of all this hitting the pause button. When you first diagnosed, people want it's like everything's urgent. You must have treatment now. You must do this. Well, actually, do you know what? No, you mustn't. Unless you're convinced it's the right course of action, I would say just hit that pause button and give yourself some thinking time.
Yeah.
Even in my dire situation, to take 48 hours or a week or whatever to think about it, that's not going to make a massive difference to the outcome.
Mm.
But nevertheless, to actually have that time for you to come to terms with the course of action. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I would recommend anybody does before embarking on, a course of action to do with any challenge. And I think the second one that I think is really important, and we all know this really, is to listen to your gut instinct. And we all have instances, don't we, where you do something and you go, oh, I knew that wasn't going to go right. But yet we've done it anyway. And I would say really, really listen to what your gut instinct is telling you. Because actually we're all smarter than we give ourselves credit for. And once you've listened to that gut instinct, as I did, you then need to have the courage to say, right, I'm going to follow that. Whether other people agree with me or not, this is my decision and I'm going to go with it. And I think those are probably the two biggest things that I've learned and that have got me where I am today.
Oh, thank you, Nina. That's brilliant. That's such a lovely story and some really good messages for people because you're right. You do go, oh, I kind of knew. And also, when
Yeah,
something, I can think about work situations where recently, like my website went down, and the first thing you
yeah,
do is go into blind panic. Was actually
yeah,
just to stop, press the pause button, and breathe.
yeah.
It's translated really well. So I'm really happy that you are blooming. You look fabulous,
Thank you.
and thanks so much for sharing your story. And I do hope that the viewers of Leading Ladies TV will really take something from that and press pause as we all should.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Thanks so much, Nina.
Yeah, thank you for asking me.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.